Since you've clicked on this video, you probably have a problem, and we're gonna solve that right now. I mean, don't you just hate it when you approach Swedes with Swedish, they switch to English? And this means that you've probably focused on the wrong thing. See, the most important pronunciation trait to get right in Swedish is stress. So in this video, we're gonna talk about how you, at the end of this video, will never experience a Swede switching back to English. Sentence stress. In Swedish, we emphasize important words. Take this sentence for instance. Jag heter Joakim. The stress is on my name here, Joakim, because that's the information that I want to convey. And this really fits with my little list of things that are typically stressed in a Swedish sentence. So we have the main verb, for instance, an object or an adverbial. And here, my name is kind of like an object. So, jag heter Joakim. That's the word that's stressed. That's the information that I want to convey. And here is another example where the object is stressed. Vi äter köttbullar. You can hear that this is stressed. The tone goes up and the volume goes up. When we say this, we kind of push that word into the foreground. But what if we don't have an object? Du måste gå nu. You can hear that I stress gå here. Gå is the main verb. Måste is also a verb, but it's an auxiliary verb. Du måste gå nu. Now, these are what I would call the default stresses, but what happens if I want to emphasize something else in a sentence? Let's listen to this. Jag heter Joakim. Jag heter Joakim. I stress jag here because that's the most important information to convey here, that I am Joakim. Not anyone else here. I'm the one. Jag heter Joakim. Jag heter Joakim. Like, my name is Joakim, but something. Du måste gå nu. Du måste gå nu. You have to go now, but I don't. Du måste gå nu. Or, du måste gå nu. It makes it more pressing. You have to go. Du måste gå nu. Or, du måste gå nu. You have to go now. Right now. It's very, very pressing. So you can see how the sentence changes in tone when you stress another word. Vi äter köttbullar. Vi äter köttbullar. I, or we, are eating meatballs. You aren't. You aren't. We are. Vi äter köttbullar. We're not throwing them around, right? We are eating them. So here you can see it's very important to know what you want to convey with a sentence, and it's very, very important in Swedish that the word that you want to emphasize is stressed very clearly. In some languages, the stress is a lot weaker. And one super important thing to note here, and I will go into details in a little bit, is that every unstressed word, syllable, sound is short. And when you come to the stressed word, you just give it your all. You prolong all those long syllables and long sounds, and it will make it sound beautiful to a Swede's ear. We had 2 ears. This is one of the difficult things when you listen to Swedes, because some words might sound like compound words because you can really hear it because they aren't stressed, but whatever. Word stress. In Swedish, a word can have 1 or 2 stresses. A word with 1 syllable only has 1 stress, right? If it has 2 syllables, it can have 1 or 2 stresses. And if it's a compound, it has 2 stresses. Väg. Road. 1 syllable, 1 stress. Väg. Motor. 2 syllables. 1 main stress in the beginning and a secondary stress. And then we have the compound. Motorväg. Motorväg. So we have 2 stresses here. Motorväg. And I mentioned before that all unstressed syllables are short. Well, here you can hear that all the stressed ones are long. So either they can have a long vowel, or if the vowel is short but the syllable is stressed, the consonant following that vowel is gonna be long. Hat means hate. Hat. The vowel is long. Hatt. Hat. The consonant is long. Hat. Hatt. And if we go back to our example with väg, road, with a long ä, we also have vägg, which means wall, with a short ä and a long g. As an example, we also have the infamous glas, which means glass. Glas. Glass, which is spelled like glass in English, but glass indicates that we should have a long consonant with double S and a short vowel. Glass, which means ice cream. So we don't want to eat glass, right? We don't want to eat glass, which is glass. We want to eat ice cream, which is glass. So here you see the importance of extending the right sound. And this segues into meaning differences. This means that if you put the stress on the wrong syllable, you might say the wrong thing. For instance, we have the word formel, formula, formel, but also formell. The stress moves from the first syllable to the last syllable, formell, which means formal. The same goes for these two words, which are spelled completely the same. Banan. Banan, the track. Banan, which means banana. Banan. Banan. Tips. The major rule of thumb here is that the stress comes on the second to last syllable in a word. It's the intuition we learn as kids when we start to read and we learn words that way. That's our intuition. So that's how we spontaneously are gonna, pronounce a word. But it's a really general rule. Then we have two unstressed verb prefixes, för and be, like in förlora, lose, förstå, understand, bevaka, surveillance, bete sig, behave. Words ending on an E with an accent on top gets that very syllable stressed. So for instance, we have the word kaffe. Kaffe, which means coffee. Kaffe. But the word café is stressed on the last syllable here. Café. Café. Particle verbs, meaning a phrase with a verb and a particle that changes the meaning of the main verb. The particle gets stressed here. Not the main verb, but the particle. So, titta på. Titta på means to watch. Titta means to watch, but if you say that I'm just watching, generally we say titta på. Then we have a set of prefixes and suffixes that kind of act like parts of a compound word, so they will be stressed as well. We have an, o, efter, före, aktig, bar, artad, dom. Some examples with these affixes are anse, to have an opinion, otålig, impatient, eftertänksam, prudent, föreställning, show, småaktig, captious, elakartad, malignant, ungdom, youth, ätbar, edible. The following suffixes, they get the main stress, so everything before it is unstressed, and only these are stressed. We have ion, fil, ist, mat, i, al, yr, ös, and nom, with the following examples: station, station, profil, profile, pianist, pianist, automat, vending machine, bageri, bakery, banal, ordinary, frisyr, haircut, dansös, female dancer, ekonom, economist. Now to learn more about Swedish pronunciation and the infamous pitch accent, you can click the video here to become even smarter.